ова издание на Еврозум. Мој гостин е портпаролот на комесарот за проширување Штефан Филе, Петар Стано. Добар ден. Welcome in my program. My very first question, of course, is there was a Council of Ministers. Macedonia was non-issue. Today there is the European Council. Macedonia is again non-issue. Could you explain to us why?
Well, I'm not in a position to speak on behalf of the member states because these decisions, both by the General Affairs Council or Foreign Affairs Council or today by the European Council, is not made by the European Commission. The program of the discussions of the foreign ministers or of the presidents and prime ministers is decided by the Council. That's the member states. You have to understand the institutional divide in the European Union. So we have European Commission
I guess you
and
have
European
an explanation
Council.
because it's supposed to discuss about. It was supposed to discuss about your recommendation.
Well, it was never announced that this will be part of this Foreign Affairs or General Affairs Council or European Council, and even if it was, again, it's up to the member states to decide what they put on the program and what they discuss. So if the member states have seen that it's not necessary to discuss the issue of former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, they didn't put it on the program. We as a Commission, we don't have any part in this process to play. What we did was...
you have information why there was no discussion about
I
Macedonia.
mean, this question needs to be answered by the, I don't know, the spokespeople of the Irish presidency or spokespeople of the Council. We as a Commission, we did our part. I mean, we negotiated with Macedonia, we had our rounds of high-level accession dialogue. We submitted our report in spring, where we stated the state of play in implementation of the EU-related reforms, which is very important, and also on good neighborly relations. So the Commission did its part, and since the ministers and since the member states didn't feel any need to discuss anything related to former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, they didn't. You have to note, however, on the other side, that what was discussed in Luxembourg by the foreign ministers and in Brussels by the prime ministers and presidents today, Serbia and Kosovo only. No other countries, no other decisions, because there was groundbreaking change, groundbreaking development in both countries agreeing on the normalization and starting to implement.
So there was no reason at all to mention Macedonia.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to explain you the events which led to the decisions of the councils this week, and these decisions were related to Serbia and Kosovo because there was groundbreaking development. Again, I cannot speak for the member states. The foreign ministers and the prime ministers, they obviously didn't feel the need to discuss Macedonia because they didn't see that there is something very specific, urgent or big to discuss and to take decisions.
Are you surprised by the fact that Macedonia was non-issue?
Well, it's not up to us to be or not to be surprised. The European Commission is doing its mandate, and our mandate is to do whatever we can with Macedonia to help it to advance on the European path. And I think we did what we were expected to do, because we not only established the high-level accession dialogue, that means re-energizing this EU-related reform process with Macedonia, but we also said that I mean, we continue this process. We reported in spring. We made recommendations already for 4 years now that Macedonia should start the accession negotiations. But then the end decision rests with the member states. There is not more that Commission can do. And we are still working with Macedonia. I can only recall the role the European Commission, together with the representatives of European Parliament, have played in trying to find a solution to the political crisis in the spring, which was ended by the 1st of March political agreement. And now what we are doing is we are waiting and we are assisting in any way we can so that this agreement is implemented and every single step of that agreement is implemented and we can continue and move Macedonia forward.
You asked for an in the spring report, you asked for implementation of the 1st of March agreement between the political party. The commission, the inquiry commission was established. So, I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no problem as long as this committee of inquiry really works and delivers the necessary results. We said in the 1st of March political agreement, I mean, it was agreed by the political parties that the committee of inquiry will be set up quickly and will start to work as soon as possible. It started to work like a few days ago only. The councils have been taken place actually few days after the final agreement on the composition of the committee of inquiry was found by the parties in Macedonia. So then there was not much space, I mean, to see any results, and part of the commitment from the 1st of March political agreement was setting up of the committee of inquiry, as a start of the process, not as an end game. And then the committee of inquiry needs to find out what happened on the 24th of December in the parliament, needs to submit recommendations and for changes in order to prevent similar situations from repeating itself. So we don't have this.
So there is a delay, you want to say?
Well, I mean,
in Macedonia.
Well, I mean, obviously, I mean,
commission.
I can ask with the counter question: do we have the results which were established in the 1st of March political agreement? No, because we have committee of inquiry started to work only a few days ago. So there are no results yet. We welcome the fact that it was composed. There was, I mean, it was the time to have it there so that they can start to work. Now they are working, but we need to see the results because that was the aim, that was the goal of this agreement, of this one part of the agreement. We need to have clear explanation what happened on 24th of December, why it happened, and what needs to be done in order to prevent such events from reoccurring.
So can we expect that in very soon, let's say in the next European Council, Macedonia will be an issue?
Well, again, I cannot speak for the European Council. It's not the European Commission who determines the program of the discussions of the member states. We, of course, I mean, next steps for the Commission.
But you're interesting to see that your recommendations are
of course,
somehow are relevant for the Council.
Of course, when we make a recommendation, we want this recommendation to be adopted by the member states while respecting their decisions, because they have the power. I mean, it's their competence. We are lower in the chain. But for us, what is important, we carry on our work. For example, we have sent 2 European Commission experts to help the committee on the inquiry committee in its work. So we are continuing the work. We are finalizing, or we are, I mean, in the process of finalizing every year the annual progress report, which will be published as always in October. There we will assess everything what has been done in Macedonia over the last year, including the implementation of the 1st of March political agreement. So we will then make our assessment, and then it will be again up to the member states to see whether the necessary degree of progress was achieved, namely on the name issue, namely on the good neighborly relations, because obviously everybody knows by now that these are the 2 main stumbling blocks in the process of getting Macedonia to start the accession negotiations.
About the name issue, in the December Council, European Council asked for a progress in the name issue. In the spring report, European Commission expressed some enthusiasm about the name issue, having in mind that Commissioner Füle was heavily engaged in the process. Do you have information what's going on with this process, where we are? Well, all we know is there is some proposal from Nimitz, but nobody knows what proposal it is, how the Greece and Macedonia react on this, where we are.
Yes, well, this is a process which is not being played in front of the media, obviously, because that's a diplomatic work, and it needs to have its procedures, its time. And the European Commission was saying right from the start, we fully support this process, which is led by the United Nations. So this is not a European Commission-led process. We are supporting.
Of course, the Commissioner have tried to help facilitate the whole process.
Yeah, I mean, I have to clarify. I mean, this is UN-led process. The sole competence of the United Nations. It is the sole competence of the United Nations and Special Representative Nimitz to deal with this. We are doing what we can to support, to encourage both parties to find agreement. European Commission a few months ago has said that in our recommendation that we really think that it's necessary to tackle this issue, and that we can think about tackling this issue in parallel with the accession negotiations early in the process.
Let me be precise. The enthusiasm from April remain?
I mean, the European Commission is always enthusiastic because this is what we believe in. We believe in working with Macedonia, providing Macedonia fulfills all the necessary criteria and commitments and delivers on the commitments, that we need to move the country forward, because this is what we promised. And Macedonia promised to do some reforms, improvements in good neighborly relations. So every step you make in order to fulfill these goals, we help you, we support you. So yes, we are enthusiastic.
Is there any steps?
Well, of course, I mean, there are steps being taken on both sides, basically, in Greece and Macedonia, because you have these talks going on.